Have you ever seen a movie?
Huh?
Of course you have. We've all seen at least one movie. What about this movie? Think it's good? What about this one? Did you like it? Maybe this one. Did you have a good time watching this? Wrong. It sucks. That all sucks. Wow, you're really bad at watching movies. In fact, I think I'm morally superior to you because of how you feel about that movie. How could you be so wrong and dumb and wrong and stupid and dumb and bad? This is the state of film criticism in 2026. Sad to say, but it's kind of true. I wish I was joking or being hyperbolic, but the way people talk about film, at least in online spaces, is genuinely depressing. Saying that media literacy is dead has become a very popular, funny thing to say on the internet, but I kind of wholeheartedly agree with this statement. Over time, there has become less and less room for honest, genuine discussions about this art form that we call cinema. However, I don't think people lack the ability to think critically about movies, I just don't think they really care to. Arguing in bad faith used to be a negative character trait and a mark that you don't really know what you're talking about. But today it seems like the only way people know how to have conversations. The things people have said about One Battle After Another, Sinners, Marty Supreme, Hamnet, and Eddington over the last few months are bewildering to someone who enjoyed all of them. Okay, most of them. And while all this sounds like a very silly thing to worry about at a time when the country is quite literally falling apart, losing our ability to hold conversations about art without resorting to calling someone stupid, I think I did that earlier, is super important and unfortunately washing away rapidly. Why do I bring up all this right now? 2 words. The Oscars are coming.
Got 2 words for you. Steve Nash and Chris Paul. Must-see TV.
That's more than 2 words.
That's more than 2 words.
Once a year, film enthusiasts and casual moviegoers alike converge into something I refer to as the monster. The monster is a metaphor for how stupid people get during awards season. If you thought presidential election cycles were full of toxicity and high-ranking public officials saying insane things,
we know Donald Trump tells it like it is. He's not afraid of it.
Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison.
I don't know. I haven't really been following it too much. I just wish her well.
You ain't seen nothing until you've watched Green Book take home Best Picture. The Oscars are mostly a fun event, though it's the lead up to this event that makes me want to cancel my AMC A-List subscription, go to my local community college, and lecture the impressionable youth about film criticism. In the weeks and months leading up to the Oscars, you'll see people you've never even heard of before come out and say things about movies that have never been said before. Award season really separates the people who watch movies and the people who see a couple movies each year. Not trying to brag, but I saw quite a few releases in 2025, and I feel like I'm, at the very least, a little bit qualified to talk about the Oscars. Your average Joe Schmo on TikTok who saw 4 movies last year doesn't really know what he's talking about. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings, but when you tell me Superman was the best movie of the year, and I look at your Letterboxd account, and you only watched 3 new movies in 2025, well, I'm gonna have to politely disagree. Nevertheless, a major war has been brewing over the last few weeks, one that pits 3 movies against each other. If you're a movie buff and you've been on TikTok recently, then you probably already know what I'm talking about. I know the internet isn't a place to go if you're seeking nuanced, balanced, and good faith discussion about anything, but people have actually lost their minds when it comes to Marty Supreme and Sinners. Starting with Ryan Coogler's Sinners, I think this is a fantastic film and absolutely deserves its spot in the top 10 conversation, top 5 even. It's ferocious and bold in a way that not many blockbusters of this scale are. Sure, it's not the most original thing in the world, and there's a lot of stereotypes being played with here, on purpose of course, but on a technical level, hardly anything comes close to being this well executed in recent memory. Ryan Coogler knows when to let things breathe, but he also knows when to throw everything against the wall. It makes a lot of sense for this to be nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars. However, for some reason, people have decided this film's biggest enemy this award season is Marty Supreme. I've seen countless TikToks claiming Timothée Chalamet winning Best Actor at the Critics' Choice Awards over Michael B. Jordan is not only a travesty, but a sign that racism is alive and well in these organizations. Look, I'm not going to deny that these organizations are full of crusty old white dudes, but at a certain point we need to be honest with ourselves and ask, what are we doing here? Does Sinners deserve a Best Picture nomination? Absolutely. Does Michael B. Jordan deserve to get nominated for Best Actor? Yeah. Does he deserve to win? Look, I think Michael A. and Michael B. Jordan both do an incredible job in Sinners. Again, Smoke and Stack are quite stereotypical, but very memorable, very impactful characters. But I don't think it's on the same level as what Mr. Chalamet is doing in Marty Supreme. Like I said, people have pitted Sinners against Marty Supreme in an epic battle for some reason. These two films quickly became mortal enemies online, with people arguing on behalf of both Mr. Chalamet and Michael B. Jordan. To me, it's a very easy debate. Sinners is much more an ensemble movie. Everyone in this film is great and adds so much to it, especially Delroy Lindo, Miles Caton, and Wunmi Masaku. I don't see any of these performances as its own standout moment though, because they're all good and the movie doesn't fall on anyone's shoulders specifically. This is the complete opposite for Marty Supreme, where the movie being good or not literally comes down to Timothy's performance. This movie would be nothing without the Frenchman behind the wheel. What he does here is truly astounding work.
You want to get physical? Like an 8?
This isn't to say that he's a better actor than Michael B. Jordan, nor is it to say that one movie is better than the other. I actually enjoyed Sinners more than Marty Supreme, but I can't lie and say that Michael B. Jordan impressed me more than Timothy Chalamet. The makeup and the clothes help a lot, but for the majority of the runtime, I simply didn't see Timothy. I saw Marty Supreme, Marty Mauser. There's been no shortage of insane takes during 2025. While people have been very annoying about Sinners and Marty Supreme recently, people were downright psychotic about Ari Aster's Eddington, a film that has unfortunately been forgotten most of this award season. Even though I think it's a great movie, better than several other locked-in Best Picture nominations, it likely won't get anything at this year's Oscars, which sucks because it feels like the culmination of everything Ari Aster's been working toward. It's funny, mean-spirited, off-putting, and depressing, all adjectives you could use to describe this little stinker's other films, but where Midsommar, Hereditary, and Beau is Afraid feel like they're kind of lacking that final piece, the glue that holds everything together, Eddington feels fully realized. More importantly, it's wickedly entertaining and funny. People have for some reason assumed the Oscars are real, like actually real, and meaningful. Sure, I think it's really fun to watch them and get involved in the Oscars race, but come on, this is a big advertisement for people with jobs. We've forgotten that these people, whether it's Emma Stone, Denzel Washington, Robert Pattinson, or Guillermo del Toro, are all real people trying to make money. They don't care who you are or if you defend their movie on TikTok. To be an actor is to be delusional. It comes with the territory. This isn't a call out. I actually admire a lot of these people's ability to focus on themselves, but this is all it is. A big event that honors a very, very small, exclusive group of people you will literally never talk to, never get to know, never even see. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what wins. Are you racist for thinking Timothy deserves the Oscar? Probably not. I'd like to think not. Are Sinners and Marty Supreme both great movies? Yeah. It really isn't that big of a deal. I don't think we need this many think pieces on it. This is kind of a think piece, but I don't know. I needed to say something. However, I will be filling out a formal complaint to Congress if F1 wins Best Picture. Nothing matters. Everything is stupid is a great mantra and so far has worked out for me in my life. I still really do care about movies and love when attention is shown to projects and people who deserve it. The Sinners versus Marty Supreme discourse is really silly because Josh Safdie and Ryan Coogler would probably love to chat with each other. The same goes for Michael B. Jordan and Timothy. These are artists, not athletes. Even though they're competing, they're artists. It's easy to see movies as competitors during award seasons, but I really just see it all as my children coming together and someone picks their most favorite. I don't know if that analogy really works. Anyway, this parasocial feud is also quite funny because it completely ignores the obvious elephant in the room, which is one battle after another. It's like Oppenheimer all over again, where it's sort of impossible to even visualize another film taking the top spot this year. Could one battle after another lose? Sure. I don't think it will, but you never know. I just know critics and audiences alike have praised this movie from the very beginning, and it's very much reflective of this point in time in culture. However, also, the floodgate on OBAA think pieces is officially open, and you've got people being incredibly lame and evil about this movie online. I'm aware Twitter is not really a real place anymore. It's full of bots and it sucks to use, but the way people talk about movies in there, especially one battle after another, is dark. Me personally, I don't think PTA should be canceled for writing his villain to be a racist, mean guy.
You like black girls?
You like black girls?
I love them. I love them.
Cancel me all you want, controversial take, hot take. I also don't think the character of Perfidia Beverly Hills is just a stereotype. Character limits have forced us to compress our thoughts into shorter, nastier sentences, but this isn't how movies should be talked about. It's so refreshing to go watch a movie with someone and then just talk about it in person at dinner. You get a lot more out of the experience this way than simply checking Rotten Tomatoes or logging on to Twitter. Is OBAA for everyone? No, but it's undeniably a crowd pleaser, as is Sinners, and I really can't fathom exiting either one of these films and hating it. You don't have to have strong opinions on everything, and not all art is going to fundamentally rock your world. But we got a lot of great stuff in 2025, and it's fun to see them all go head to head. I don't really see it as this big game, as a Super Bowl type event. This is just a moment where we all get to remember the movies we watched, and one gets to be considered the best. I don't know. So what did we learn today, class? People have no idea how to talk about anything. Eddington is a morally reprehensible piece of conservative propaganda. Marty Supreme as another toxic masculinity is actually good story, akin to American Psycho. Sinners is racist for the way it treats white people. And One Battle After Another makes left-wing movements look silly, therefore it's actually Republican. I'm not buying any of that. Just because movies don't match the version you created in your head before you watched it doesn't mean that they're bad or unethical or sexist or whatever other buzzword you want to throw at it. Art can make us uncomfortable. It makes us feel things we often try to avoid in our real world. Movies are a portal to another dimension.
Star Wars!
It's a place that you can go and get lost and enjoy yourself, but also learn things about yourself in the world. Of course, I have movies that I hope to get nominated or, actually win awards at the Oscars. It'd be really cool to see a movie like One Battle After Another win Best Picture. It'd be really cool for Paul Thomas Anderson. It'd be really cool if Sinners won. It'd be really cool to see Ryan Coogler take home that award for Best Director. It's not a win or lose thing for me. It's a win-win-win. I love seeing all movies get recognized. I love seeing movies that people might not have heard of get exposure in this way. It's really cool. It's a really cool event. This is what it should be treated as. I think this year has the potential to be a much better Oscars race than last year. I was personally kind of disappointed that Anora took home a lot of the awards. I think there were some other movies on the list that could have won. I think there were some other movies that didn't even get nominated that should have. I kind of feel like that way this year. Who knows? I could be completely wrong. I could be totally stupid. Maybe the Oscars are the most important thing in the world. Maybe I am racist for liking some of these movies. Maybe I am sexist. Maybe I am... We'll just have to tune in, see what happens. Hopefully no one gets slapped. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we should all just hate each other and just try to tear each other apart for the way we think about movies. Maybe that's the end goal here. Maybe that's the end point of human civilization, is to just hate each other over how we feel about movies. In a perfect world, I think a movie like 28 Years Later should probably win Best Picture, but it's probably not going to happen. Still a lot of great choices. It's going to be an interesting night. It's going to be interesting to see what people say after it. The think pieces are far from over. I just needed to get that off my chest. I think a lot of people are being really dumb about movies. They're movies. Movies. That's a weird word to say multiple times. Bye.